And if I was on the farm full time and we didn't have our city business,
Yeah.
I'd probably move them 3 or 4 times a day. So,
But you know, a lot of people do things that take up similar amount of time, you know, whether it's sitting on the couch and watching a TV series in the evening, or going to the gym, or, you know, we farm.
I know this is not a shipping container house built video, and I know I'm going to get comments from people saying that this is not a shipping container house built video. But my channel is called Self-Reliant, so I ask you for your patience and your appreciation for this wonderful couple I'm showcasing in this video. They are the epitome of self-reliance. They have their day job in Jackson, Michigan, but when they come home from their day job to their farm, they then go take care of their hundreds of farm animals. They put into the land the kind of love and care that should be required of anybody who owns farmland that takes care of farm animals. They not only work hard, but they also work smart. So I hope you will sit back and enjoy and appreciate the work that they do, and also learn something from this wonderful couple.
It's beautiful country, man.
thank you. Yeah, it's I never thought I'd be farming, man. Never had plans of ever farming, and this is something that the Lord brought us into, and
Yeah.
I always wanted a piece of property, really, and then I bought a little piece of property, and then I was able to buy the farm next to me, which was this one right here.
Yeah.
And then, you know, after that, we leased this farm over here. We got another leased farm down the road that we're running all of our heifers on.
Okay.
The gist of that is this farm could only hold about 20 head of cattle before we start moving them every 12 hours.
Yeah.
This is one of our bulls. He is not in service right now.
Okay.
So we got a couple other bulls that we're using to breed right now. This is Buster. So there's gonna be flies out here. It's fly season, man.
Yeah.
They this time of year we don't use any chemicals. You're gonna see what we use for fly control, but
Okay.
a lot of people will put chemicals either on the animals or in their minerals, and then the cattle will poop out the chemicals, and then when the flies go to lay their larva, their egg on the poop, it'll kill the larva.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what I don't want to do, because what else is it killing, right?
Oh yeah.
You know, it's probably killing all my microbial life down in the soil.
Right.
Let me get this gate. You can stay right in here for a minute.
Okay. Boy, look at those birds flocking around.
Yeah,
her.
so that's what I was gonna tell you. Get a shot of those birds, because that's our fly control.
Yeah.
I put up 300 bird houses,
Oh, look at those.
and they're all occupied by bluebirds or tree swallows. So
Yeah.
a pair of bluebirds will eat about 7,000 flies a day.
Wow.
So times that times the 300 bluebird houses I got out here,
Yeah.
you know, those birds are eating thousands and thousands of flies a day, tens and hundreds of thousands, really.
Yeah.
And these birds, they follow our cattle right around.
Okay.
I mean, look at all of them.
Yeah.
it's a symbiotic relationship between the animal,
Yeah.
the two animals, you know what I mean, and the land.
Yeah.
Oh, that thing's a, yeah, we got it.
Boy, they like you, man. They come rushing towards you.
So we're gonna put up a fence, and you can follow along with us to do that. And she's coming here. She's moving the water, so that should be good, Allison. I think we got enough over here.
Look at you guys. Hello.
About 100 head in here right now,
100?
and then we got another 20 over on our
Yeah.
heifer farm. These were all born this spring. All these
Yeah.
little calves here.
Okay.
What
So-
we're doing is a non-selective grazing. So the reason why we're limiting what they can eat every day, we're moving them every 12 hours, and cattle are a selective grazer. So they're only gonna eat all the cupcakes and ice cream in the field.
Right.
And so basically by limiting what they can eat, it makes them non-selectively eat everything. Grass is greener on the other side. That's because the cattle are looking at what the other one's eating, and they want to get ahead of him and eat the next thing, and in line. So this is hot.
That's hot. Okay.
I'll tell you that.
I was wondering about that. I was like, how is that rope going to keep them away from going into the other
so
fields?
Trained on it now that
Yeah.
you could go without it being hot, but
Yeah. So what are we doing now exactly?
we're gonna set up a fence and we're gonna move them into the next cell.
Okay, so the fence. So this is a fenced area,
Yep.
and then we're gonna move them over to the other side. Okay.
Side over
Got
here.
it.
Yep.
Okay.
So we can just step on this right here. Boom, get shot.
Okay. Step over.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Watch out for the cow pads.
Yep. Hey guys. What makes this so appealing to you guys?
Well, it's watch yourself there. Really what I would say is this style of farming is working with nature instead of against it. In modern agriculture, monoculture, corn, soybeans, it's really horrible for the land, and it's such a input driven business. We can come out here and we can raise food for several families with no chemical inputs, zero commercial fertilizers, no tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars in tractors and equipment. I mean, you'll see we're raising thousands of animals on this farm every year, and we're feeding hundreds of families in our local community, and we're also putting back into the land. So these animals, being ruminant animals, what they're doing here to this land, we have not used commercial fertilizers or chemical inputs since we've owned this land, and every year we're bringing more animals onto the land because our land is improving. It's getting better and better and better every year because of that right there.
Yeah. These guys are so attentive to your speech, man. They're listening, man.
I paste these off about every 16 pages.
Okay. And then we'll put a wire on, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it starts a wire at the other end so that the spool ends up at this end.
I have to be honest with you. I felt right at home in this pasture because I grew up in the country. As I walked into the distance with them, about 1,000 feet away, down the hill, to mark up this section for rotational grazing for the cows, I felt that what they were doing was just really good for the land and for the animals. I gained an appreciation and I gained a lot of admiration for what they're doing, because what they're doing is not only good for the animals but also good for the land. They've created a very profitable business and they're contributing to society and they're enriching their own lives at the same time. So it was simply, to me, a wonderful thing to witness. You can see that in the distance. Nathan is walking to the right, and he's actually dividing this grazing section into two. And he will explain to you later why he's dividing the section into two.
Pretty well known on your YouTube channel.
I'm getting there. I have 10,000 subscribers.
Oh my.
So now you have the roped out all the way from that end to this end.
Yes.
It's not hot yet, right?
Not yet. But
How do you
once
make it hot?
touches this wire, it will be.
Okay.
So I'll let him finish over there so I don't pop him with
Yep. Yeah.
some electricity.
Yep. Okay.
And then I basically wrap
Yep.
this here around.
Mm-hmm.
And then I lay this over that wire, which makes everything
That's
hot.
it, right? Okay.
Yep, so if I just put it like this, then
Okay.
it won't be hot. So it looks like
Got
it's
it.
done.
Need to roll that thing up a little bit.
Now she's hot.
It's hot now?
Yes.
So how do you lay it on there?
So just right over that wire.
Okay, so the contact point is basically
Yes.
these metal pieces,
Yep.
okay?
So what I did was I put a halfway fence up there. Tomorrow morning I'll come out here and I'll take that fence down and they will have eaten all this grass basically. And if I gave it the right size, what they'll do is they will have stampeded this and eaten it enough where they won't come back to it. They fouled it at that point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they'll have access to their water down here and they'll just go to the next section. When they want to drink, they'll come back here and drink.
Okay.
And they'll just work this back and forth all day. And that
okay.
that stampeding action is as important as the consumption of the grass to the animal, because that stampeding action is doing a lot for the soil.
Yep.
Again, it's another symbiotic relationship. Even the goo at the end of their noses, when they get there and they clip the grass, it's leaving biology on top of the grass clipping and helping regrow.
Okay.
So
I would love to see. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
You want to do that one?
Yeah, I can do it.
They're gonna run me over. I know it.
They won't. Nathan sets up his camera sometimes right in the middle of it.
Okay. Oh, I would love to see this. I'll just.
Sometimes I'll stand on the left side of them.
Okay.
Because the left side of them is where their ruminant is. The ruminant is their stomach that digests grass. There's a little triangle
Okay.
on the back by their back hip,
Yeah.
and you can make sure that you've given them enough to eat at that point.
Okay. They're just so eager.
Sometimes we call for them.
Mas, mas. See them all perked up.
Look at these guys.
Now all you're going to hear is the sound of ripping grass.
Yeah.
That's the bull. He's out here right now breeding.
Oh, yeah.
So the way that a cow eats, it sticks its tongue out and it wraps it around the grass and pulls it into their mouth, and they rip it off.
Yeah.
We've been in this field for 7 days now. And if we go back where we started, I can already see it from here. 7 days ago, we're talking inches of regrowth already.
Oh, okay.
To where if we would have let them go out here
Yeah.
and have the whole field, I'll give you an example of what they would do.
Yeah.
If this is the type of grass that they love right here,
Yeah.
okay, they'd walk by the first time, they'd nip it down like that, they'd take the tip of it.
Yeah.
They'd come back through in another day or whatever, they'd take another third of it.
Yeah.
In another day or two, they take it right down to about the root, and now you've got no solar panel
Okay.
to
get the sun's
get
energy.
the sunlight to get the energy.
Yeah.
And then if you don't get any rain,
Yeah.
your soil's not covered,
Yeah.
so your soil temperatures go up. You've
Yeah.
got evapotranspiring through the, all your moisture in your ground's gone.
Yeah.
So we will not graze a piece of grass until it comes back to a tip. When it's at a tip, that means it's fully recovered.
Yeah.
So if you go over there and look at the grass where we started, it's going to look like that. It's going to have a flat tip at the top.
Yeah.
And that's where they've already grazed it.
So like you said earlier, this ground used to be really bare when you got it, right?
You could walk through this field on an August day like this, and you could pick rocks up.
Yeah.
That's how depleted this ground was. Like, you could see the soil everywhere you walked because it was so thin and it was so degraded.
Yeah.
It'd been hayed for many years, taken from, or it had been overgrazed for many years.
But using your system, I mean, this land is green and lush.
Look at, as far as you can see out there, look at the grass we're going into after this field. In 2
Yeah.
days, we'll be over there.
Yeah.
So our first rotation this year,
Yeah.
we got 92 days.
Yeah.
So times that by 2, that'll tell you how many times we moved them in 92 days.
Yeah.
And we didn't come back and take the same piece of grass for 92 days. Allyson just moved their minerals over here. That's their mineral tub. So
Okay.
we put garlic in their minerals. That helps natural fly deterrent.
Okay.
And some of the cattle have less flies than others. Like you see this one
Yeah.
versus like the white one. White attracts flies to begin with. But some of them just genetically don't have as many flies, and that's what we're going for. The ones that don't have very many flies, we're going to save them and breed them and save their calves.
Yeah. And how do they get into the minerals? Do they just push it open?
They just take their nose in there and
Push it open.
Yep.
And then eat it. Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
And that's trace mineral, salt, garlic. There's another bull right there. You see how ripped out he is?
Yeah.
If you just listen, there's no better sound than that. Just ripping grass.
Yeah.
They actually rip with their tongue.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna grab their water.
Okay.
This one over here, that's right by the bull, the red one,
Okay. Yep.
her name is Winifred.
Okay.
Her mom passed away when she was just a couple days old, so I had to bottle feed her.
No kidding.
So she's kind of the herd mascot. She had
Okay.
her first calf last year.
Yeah.
She's really sweet. But there's a lot of them you get to know.
Yeah.
She's a real good girl.
Yeah.
Good mama. That's the thing too, is when you work this closely with them,
Yeah.
if there's any type of personalities, that are aggressive or anything like that, you don't want to keep those around.
Okay.
Because you're right here with them so often that you can't take risks
Yeah.
of any type of aggression.
Yeah.
And you don't want that bred into the herd either.
Well, I just saw last night, I saw a video of somebody got pushed to a fence by an aggressive cow.
Yeah.
And they had to get rid of the cow. So that's what you do,
Yep.
right? Okay.
Yep. You don't want to keep them around because you don't want those types of personalities
Yeah.
in their calves and things like that.
Yeah.
So that way we're comfortable out here and we don't have to worry
Yeah.
about kids when they're out here, things
Yeah.
like that. So yeah.
You say you got the water? Oh, you got the bucket over
so
there?
You can look at this. We water 120 head off of just this about 35-gallon water tank.
Okay.
It's got a high float in it.
It will shut it off.
Yep, and this float will get up to the point and shut it off. And then we've got pressurized water
Yeah.
on all 160 acres. And we just pressurize water up on our lease farm, which is about a half mile up the road too. But this water for this farm comes from across the road.
Yeah.
So we bore a line underneath the road, and it goes all the way out there to those trees that you see back there. There's some of our tree swallows right there. It's like a B-52 bomber just dive
Yeah.
bombing after flies.
Yeah.
They do.
I did get some good shots of the flock of birds, and they have disappeared.
Yeah, when
they
we
move
come out
around
here,
with
they
that.
normally leave.
Yeah.
Those ones do, because
Yeah.
those are cowbirds. But see these guys?
Mm-hmm.
These are the tree swallows. They
Yep.
hang out here with us. They
Okay.
don't mind us at all. They're really acrobatic. You see that?
Yep.
And with it windy, it's harder for them to dive down and get the flies.
Yeah.
But normally they'll be all over it.
And there are thousands of flies. Their diet consists of thousands of
Yeah.
insects a day.
But you see what we left. See what we left
Yeah.
coming out of this field?
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a good ground cover.
Yep.
We didn't take it off. The
Yep.
ground underneath is cool and moist.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's because they've kind of stampeded down what they didn't eat. You know,
Yep.
some of this we bring it up.
Yeah.
You can see how much they put
Yeah.
down on the ground, and it's
Right.
just nice and moist and cool down there.
But yeah, if you don't rotate
Right?
the grazing fields, then this will be just grazed to the bare bones, right?
It'll look like a pool table,
Yeah.
you know, or a putt-putt golf.
Yeah.
It'll be right down to nothing.
Yeah.
And so, overgrazing is bad as tillage.
Yeah.
So tilling the soil, that's why a lot of modern agriculture is so detrimental to the ground. Is tillage is one of the worst things you can do for soil health.
Yeah.
And so, overgrazing is the same thing. It's heating up the soil. You know,
Yeah.
no microbial life can form over like 120 degrees. There you can see him diving down here.
Oh yeah.
They almost look like bats,
Yeah. I know.
the way that they fly. You know.
Yeah.
He's skimming right across the top of the cow's back and
It's grabbing them.
grabbing them right off
Yeah.
there. Yep. Yep, man, that's
You can hear that flock though of birds.
yeah, they're all
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
over in those cottonwoods.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You can hear
Oh
them.
yeah, I can hear them now. Yeah.
Probably waiting for us to leave.
Yeah.
Out.
yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah.
that's it, man. I mean, as far as the cattle goes, you
Yeah.
know, there's no. So in the winter, which if you stuck around and go to the lease farm with us, you'll
Yep.
see we roll our hay out. So partially why this land looks so nice is because we have a bale unroller, and in the winter we feed hay, and we kind of do the same thing without fences. We start on one side of the field and roll hay out. Every day we roll hay out a little bit further onto clean pasture, and they do the same thing.
Yeah.
They fertilize the land right across, and what they don't eat for hay, they leave on the ground, which is then fertilizer for all the, you know, stuff down in the soil.
So, do you rotate the grazing fields every day,
Every
or
12 hours.
every 12 hours?
This
So you got it
section is
twice.
12 hours. That back section after the halfway fence is the other 12 hours.
So you would do it once in the morning,
Yep.
and once in the evening.
But see, in the evening is the only time I put up fences.
In
Okay.
the morning, he'll just take that one halfway down.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what you
why I
did
took
over
that
there,
halfway.
right?
Yep.
It's much easier.
Yep.
Okay.
And if I was on the farm full time and we didn't have our city business,
Yeah.
I'd probably move them 3 or 4 times a day.
Oh, okay.
So when we start, a quick story, we start doing this, we just did what all the other farmers around us were doing,
Yeah.
and we couldn't sustain about 20 head of cattle.
Yeah.
We fed hay in August. This
Yeah.
time of the year, things are dry, we
Yeah.
feed hay.
Yeah.
Well, one day I felt like the Lord told me to go out and move cows every day. So I told her, I said, hey, we're going to move cows every day. She's like, what are we doing? I said, I don't know. I feel like this is what we're supposed to do. So we started moving cows every day for the whole summer, really not knowing what we were doing. We were just going together, doing it. We
Yeah.
learned so much that year, but what we
Yeah.
learned the most was at the end of that year, we needed a lot more cattle. We needed a lot more cattle to keep up with that land because we were giving the land proper resting period. And so that next year, we took 98 head of cattle into January before we fed our first bit of hay. And now we're running right around 120 head of cattle, and
Yeah.
we're adding more cattle every year.
Yeah.
Every year we're getting a little more. This year we're breeding. We normally breed somewhere around 25 to 30 cows.
Mm-hmm.
This next year we're going to be breeding, 36, 37?
And the
So-
calves are born usually in the springtime?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we do
Okay.
spring calving. So right now the bulls are in. We put them in July 1st, and that makes for spring
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
spring calving.
And of course, I want people to know that you also have your fireplace business.
Yes.
That's your full-time business, supposedly. And you do this on the side.
Yeah, so
But a lot of people do things that take up similar amount of time, whether it's sitting on the couch and watching a TV series in the evening, or going to the gym, or we farm.
that's a good way to put it. Our fireplace business is really good. I mean, we've got 10, 11, 12 employees there, and it's kind of at the point now. I mean, we work full time there, don't get me wrong, but it's at a point now where if we got to take off to do something happens on the farm, emergency, we got to sort cattle. We're taking in 250 chickens to the processor a month, so there's always trips to the processor, all that kind of stuff. We're able to take the time away because we have people in our office, we have people in the field, so
Yeah.
it's,
We're blessed with really good staff,
yeah.
Yeah,
and we can be flexible that way.
that's good.
Bird back.
Oh, yeah, look at those birds.
Well, let's go check out the chicken operation. If
All right.
got enough food
Sounds
here.
good. Oh, yeah. Okay.
With the way that steer was just right here drinking, I
Yeah.
keep their wire
Yeah.
about halfway or a third of the way into their bucket here.
Yeah.
That way they don't get too many of them in there and start to fight over it. So they know they can only fit about 2 heads in there to drink out of. And
Yeah.
if they get any more than that, they're going to touch this wire and get a little poke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Look at this guy coming over.
yep. You can see there's about enough room for one other one to sneak in there. And that's the cheapest thing you can give your livestock.
Yeah.
Good, clean water.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here in the States.
All right, let's go check out the chickens. Thank you.
If we go, hon, you want to close the gates
Oh, yeah,
in that
sure.
spring? We probably should introduce ourselves at some point too, huh?
This is a good place. I have the camera on.
Okay.
So, I mean, this is a beautiful background, right? So, who the heck are you guys?
my name's Nathan Drumhiller, and this is my wife Allyson, and we run and operate Drumhiller Farms. We are a grass-fed operation. We raise grass-fed, grass-finished beef. We do about 250 pasture-raised chickens a month. We do pastured pork, pastured turkey, and grass-fed, grass-finished lamb.
Anything else, Allyson? No? Okay. All right. That's a
the Great House shirt on.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Great House shirt. Okay. All right, let's go.
All right, we'll go back here and grab a
Okay.
battery.
Yep.
So funny, a lot of people when you tell them, oh, we're moving cattle every 12 hours. Well, we had a wedding this weekend and we had a lot of stuff going on. I came came out here Friday night, and I set up fencing for Friday, Saturday, Sunday in about 50 minutes by myself.
Wow.
So I set up 6 moves by myself in about 50 minutes. So, you know, if everything, we don't have big moves, like, you know, we have to go, we move them across the road to another farm, that kind of stuff. That stuff takes a little bit longer. When we get into a field like this, we just section across. Look at that grass, man.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah, this is the extent of our fossil fuel burning right here, is this little side-by-side. You know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of an important thing too, is it's like, when I talk about farming nowadays being such an input-driven business, you know, I get people come out here and they'll say, well, I don't want to move, I feed my cattle corn and I don't want to move my cattle every 12 hours. And I say, well, shoot, I don't want to have a $350,000 combine and, you know, raise all the, you know, have a plow and have all these inputs to feed a cow grain that ain't supposed to even have grain to begin with. They're a ruminant animal. You know, the ruminants are made to digest grass. And, you know, when you feed a cow grain, you're actually making them sick.
Yeah.
That's why there's a lot of additives in the grain, is to help them digest that grain, because they're really